if you're putting a product in front of a customer and they can get up and running, they can onboard in 15 minutes and start using it, that friction is very low. But when they have to do all of this work, maybe even kind of think differently about their own processes and documentation, and then they're doing all of this, but basically they're making a bet that all of this work would be worth it for this product that they haven't even tried yet, right? So that's kind of a difficult leap to make. So how did you solve that? I mean, I think this is something that a lot of SaaS founders go through, that the perceived work, even though the customers might not say it, and it sounds like the 40 or at least the 39 people you spoke to weren't that explicit about it, but it's I think it's a common problem. So how did you go about solving it?
Yeah, and it took us some iterations. What we eventually landed up at was identifying the pockets in the product that required the minimum setup from customers and only pitching for those to get people started on, right? So in our case, like with the real-time feedback and just having a real-time note taker there, we identified that giving feedback on behavior did not require any setup. So I could have something that tells them that, hey, you've been on a long monologue, and we didn't need the manager or anybody else to do any work. Similarly, we could get them to bookmark parts of the call in real time without managers or setup needing to do work. So one was identifying pockets that required minimal setup and using those as the hero examples in those sales conversations versus using all these complex things that required a ton of setup as the hero example. So it was easy for somebody to say, oh, I can instantly get value without putting in a lot of effort. And then if I wanted to put in effort, this is what I could do, right? So essentially constantly being very diligent about saying, how do I create a wow moment with minimal effort so that then the person, once they see the value, then they will put in the effort. I think the second thing we did was, just taking away a blank canvas approach and saying we will give you enough in the canvas so that you only need to fill in the blanks. So basically creating all sorts of templates that made it much easier for people to say, oh, okay, I only need to write these 3 bullet points. I know what the use case is. And in some cases, we would even use, like different methodologies, different sales information that existed to create, that set of templates and initial things for them. So again, trying to give them value before we ask them to invest.